Hey, this is John Southhurst for Bitsonline.com. We're in Tokyo and we're just about to go and attend the first ever Bitcoin Cash Meetup and find out what it's all about. So come along.
Bitcoin Cash.
So, what was the problem with Bitcoin? Well, I mean, I'm still a big Bitcoin fan.
Yeah.
We were the first retailer establishment to accept Bitcoin in Japan, and it was hard to get that going, but we were really happy with it when we did. But it's just gotten so big and so heavy and expensive now that it's not very practical as establishments and venues and retailers to accept Bitcoin. So that's one of the reasons for us that we were particularly interested in getting started with Bitcoin Cash, was so that, you know, like it's useful for your daily transactions. You know, you can buy a beer with it, you can buy a cup of coffee with it, and you used to be able to do that with Bitcoins, but it just got too overwhelmingly heavy. So, you know, I think it's like, now it's like apples and oranges. Like, you know, they're both very useful for what they're useful for, and I'm gonna go with both. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm one camp or the other. I'm gonna say they're both totally useful, and I'm sticking with both, man.
So did you organize the meetup tonight?
Yeah, you know, like I've been going to the Bitcoin meetup forever, and to a large degree, take care, thank you very much, good night. A lot of the people in Japan have had the opportunity to spend their Bitcoin on basic things like buying a beer and really casual use of Bitcoin. And I think that was a really important component. You know, it was that sort of organic ability to see it being used by someone, give someone a small amount of money, really painlessly. And I think that was such a fun part of the story for a very long time. So kind of watching that dither away, where my own businesses suffered from transaction issues, my ability to pay for things in Bitcoin, even relatively large sums, I started thinking twice. Not just from an idealistic stance, but just, is this like the right thing to do economically, to the point of not being able to buy a beer in Bitcoin anymore, or certainly not give someone $10. So seeing that need for so long, having Bitcoin Cash come along, became inevitable. We had to have a solution, and this is the solution. So starting a Bitcoin meetup, Bitcoin Cash Meetup specifically, we could have tried to hijack the existing meetup, but obviously there's people who have a different point of view, and it's not right for us to dictate to them how to be. And from my perspective also, I don't want to end up in that debate every time. And I've had that debate plenty of times, and I'll have that debate any time, but I don't want to have that be the entire characteristic of my meetup experience. I want to be able to go and enjoy myself and talk to other people who appreciate using Bitcoin the way we always used it.
So, when I say that to anyone, like, they always reply with, well, just wait for Lightning Network.
Right. Well, I don't think that's a great answer, and not just because of the various reasons why I have an opinion on Lightning Network, but simply I had something that worked. So if you've come to Bitcoin recently and you've discovered that it has high fees, it makes sense maybe to wait, because from your perspective, you might think, oh, this doesn't work yet, I'm patient, I'll wait for it to work. But for me, Bitcoin worked for years. It worked just fine. It worked from the very first day it existed.
Yeah.
So as long as someone was willing to trade with you, it worked. That changed. And it's not okay to have something stop working, and all the effort that all of us put into it from our hearts, whether it's our own money, whether it's our time, whether it's our love, all those things go into this. And all the people who are angry about the fact that it doesn't work, it's not some kind of political scam run by evil people in a back room. It's a bunch of individual people who experienced Bitcoin who no longer use it the way they used to. So waiting for something that used to work again is not acceptable, regardless of whether it's a good solution. It's just not okay.
So what are you doing in the meantime?
Well, I mean, like most people, pivoted to other currencies. So before Bitcoin Cash, starting to, ironically, all the people who are having this sort of store of value, digital gold, Lightning Network in the future solution are like also, well, go ahead and use Litecoin or Dash. No, like I want to use Bitcoin, and I can't use Bitcoin because Bitcoin got fucked up. If Bitcoin wasn't fucked up, I would use Bitcoin. the closest thing to using Bitcoin is Bitcoin Cash, period, like full stop. So for me, Bitcoin Cash is the right solution. There's no guarantees here. Like Bitcoin may not rule the world. Bitcoin Cash may not rule the world. We don't know these things. We can only make that decision about what makes sense right now. And right now, Bitcoin Cash makes sense because it works the way Bitcoin always did. And I feel like I'm in very good company because people I respect, people who I identify with their vision and why they're involved are also behind this. And to me, I'm not a follower, but it's good to be in good company, right? So I'm going to be doing what I think is best, which is Bitcoin Cash. But it's nice to be surrounded by other people who happen to agree with me. So here we are. First Bitcoin Cash Meetup in the world, small venue, 70 some RSVPs, full turnout.